Hello, my name is Ellen Song, and I am currently an undergraduate student here at the University of Guelph. I would like to welcome you to the College of Physical and Engineering Science Convocation ceremony this evening. The University of Guelph is honored by our graduates, and we take great pride in this convocation. I will tell you a little bit about the proceeding today. The ceremonials used for conferring degrees have evolved over a millennium, and the gowns and hoods represent that history. In general, the gowns for the baccalaureate and the magisteriate degrees are black in color, and the hood is different for each degree program. The doctorates at the University of Guelph have a bright blue gown, and the honorary degrees are an even brighter color. The University of Guelph crest that you can see on the curtains behind me and shown on the cover of the Convocation program also represents our specific history. The emblems in the crest show links with the royal city of Guelph through the white stallion above, the connection to liberal arts through the book, to sciences through the astrolabe, and our connection to abundance and agricultural through the cornucopia. The University of Guelph motto, Rerum cognoscere causis, is a quote from Virgil. It is translated to be either, happy is one who is able to ascertain the reason of things, or perhaps to knowing the meaning of things. The procession of people into the hall is also influenced by ancient tradition. The piper will herald the start of the procession of graduands, the students who are coming to graduate today. This will be followed by the arrival of the mace leading the platform party. The mace is a symbol of authority at the university and will be carried by the beadle. In medieval universities, a beadle was chosen by an instructor to work as an assistant. Today, the beadle is the ceremonial officer of Senate. Following the beadle and the mace is the chancellor, members of the administration and the honorees, fellows of the university, members of the board and senate, and members of faculty and staff. The degrees will be conferred in the order that you see in your program. The degrees are separated by categories, representing the specific degree being awarded within the college. The name reader will announce the degree being awarded at the start of each category. As the name of each student is called, the beadle will place the hood over the recipient's shoulders. This moment will be recorded on video, and technology willing, there will be a simultaneous live cast of the event to allow family members and friends to watch from a distance. The chancellor will then confer the degree. We understand the joy and excitement accompanying such an auspicious occasion, but we ask that you hold your applause until after each group of graduates has crossed the stage. There will be an opportunity for a truly thunderous applause after each group has graduated. Once all the degrees are conferred and cheered for, the chancellor will close the ceremony and a recessional will play. Please remain standing during the recessional until all the platform party have processed out of the hall. And may I be the first person to congratulate the graduates on their various successes and offer my congratulations to the family and friends who are here to support them. Welcome to Convocation at the University of Guelph.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land, glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
The University of Guelph would like to acknowledge the Atawandaron people on whose traditional territory the University of Guelph resides, and to offer respect to our Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Métis neighbors as we strengthen our relationships with them. Our Indigenous brothers and sisters help us to see our connection to the earth all around, and all of you as you gathered outside in the midst of all of these beautiful trees, I'm sure you felt a sense of connection to those trees, a connection to the air, to the sun, to the earth, to all that we can experience. Tonight is a time of connection as well. It's recognizing our connection to each other as well as to the world around, the earth around. It's recognizing our connection to family and to friends, those people who have made it possible for the graduands to come to this time and place. And we look at those family and friends not only as those who have said to us, okay, we've given you this opportunity, now don't screw it up, but rather as people who love and people who care, people who offer compassion, and people who offer to pay the bills. And we look at the people on the stage, the professors and the tutorial assistants and the teachers and the support staff, and we look at them not as tyrants who are asking us to do yet another project, but rather as fellow human beings, as people who are in many ways our elders, passing on wisdom and understanding, passing on their craft, their knowledge, and their wisdom. And we recognize all of the other support staff here in the university, those who keep the lights on, those who keep us warm, those who give us food, as people who care to provide an opportunity for us to learn, to live, and to enjoy. So tonight is really a time of celebrating these interconnections, the way that we are all together related. It is to that which is sacred to us that we give thanks for these interrelations, in a peace and in a love one to the other. Amen. And you may be seated.
Mr. Chancellor, members of the Board of Governors, distinguished guests, members of the Platform Party, families, friends, and of course, graduating students, welcome to Convocation at the University of Guelph. My name is John Livernois. I'm the Interim Vice President Research here. I'm also a professor, one of the tyrants referred to earlier. Thank you for saying we're human beings too. So I look around the graduating class, I believe I see some familiar faces, so congratulations to you and to all of the graduating class. It's truly an honor for me, personally, and on behalf of the university, to be able to welcome all of you here today. This is a very special evening, one where we celebrate the accomplishments of these fine students who are here today convocating. And we will officially confer upon them the recognition they have earned and so deserve. Convocation, first and foremost, is about celebrating, acknowledging, marking the accomplishments of these young scholars. But as you have heard and may have noticed, it's also done with a lot of pomp and ceremony. And as I believe you heard a little bit earlier this evening, this pomp and ceremony has historical roots dating way back in Western civilization. In fact, in the Middle Ages, more than 600 years ago, what we would now call university faculty were in fact men of religion, and they taught wearing their religious robes, and those religious robes signified the religious order from which they came. And presumably the robes also established them or recognized them as men of learning, and I suspect that the robes also kept them warm in those cold, damp Northern European winters. Many universities began evolving into secular universities towards the middle 1800s, stopped their religious affiliation and the teachings, but faculty kept their robes. Probably they're still trying to keep warm. To this day, some men and women still wear these to teach, but not many of us do that anymore. I suspect that since the invention of central heating, we put them in the closet and bring them out for special occasions like Convocation this evening. It's still that the colors, the varied colors of all the different robes you see on the platform party here do signify something, and they tend to signify our home universities, or the universities from which our highest degree was confirmed. There is a code book out there somewhere matching the colors to the universities, but I can't tell you that I have any idea where it is. So there's no question that this evening is one of reflection and dreams. It's a time to reflect upon all we have done up to this point in our lives, and it is a time to dream about what the future will bring. For those of you who are guests here this evening, it's a suitable time for you, I believe, to pause and think about the importance of setting goals, to think with pride that of all you have done to help those graduating here today, and to hopefully experience yourselves the excitement of learning and knowledge and achievement. All of the faculty and staff who work very hard to create a wonderful environment of learning and research here at the university are owed an enormous amount of gratitude. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't witness the commitment of our staff and faculty who work hard to make the time students spend at the university a positive, lifelong experience. And on behalf of the university, I want to thank them. And of course, it's a time for all of the graduates here today to reflect upon what you've accomplished. If you want, just think for a moment that first day you arrived at the university, that first week, those first few classes, thinking way back and all that lay ahead of you at that point. And here you are today. You have accomplished a great deal. You've created a wonderful, I hope, set of experiences and memories that will, I guarantee you, last a lifetime. You've earned the right to be extremely proud, in my mind, of what you've done today. Parents, do you agree with that? Yeah. And I know as a parent who has sat like where you are tonight, how proud you feel as well. Changing lives, improving life, that's our brand at the University of Guelph. It is what we aspire to do in everything we do through teaching and research. We aspire to change lives and improve life. And I hope to the graduating class that we've been able to impart that message and mission to you. I hope that we've given you a glimpse of how a greater knowledge of the world around you can help you determine how to, what you can do to change lives and improve life. So the next hour or so will mark the end of this chapter of your lifelong learning experience, and soon you will leave us. But let me quote Adlai Stevenson in saying, when you leave here, don't forget why you came. And finally, to distinguished guests and all of the friends, family, and students here, I just want to say once again, thank you very much for coming this evening. Enjoy the ceremonies. Thank you.
The University of Guelph awards 2 silver medals from the Governor General each year to 2 graduating students with the highest cumulative average in any undergraduate degree program. One of the 2014 recipients is a graduate of the College of Physical and Engineering Science. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting to you the recipient of the Governor General's Silver Medal, Laura Thompson. Laura Thompson has maintained a high level of excellence throughout her university studies. She was top in her class throughout her 4 years as a major in the Applied Mathematics and Statistics Cooperative Education Program. She scored 95% on higher on 32 of her 39 courses. Her cumulative average was 97.2%, and she received 9 marks of 99% and a perfect score of 100% on 9 more courses. Laura mastered the undergraduate material and progressed to research-level mathematics with her honors research project, where she worked on frontline problems in the field of quantum cryptography. Recognized with numerous awards throughout, Laura received the Ted Newton Memorial Scholarship, the R.C. Moffett Memorial Scholarship twice, the Tucker Scholarship for Women in Mathematics and Statistics, the Year 3 Mathematics Award, and the Department of Mathematics and Statistics Graduation Prize. In 2012, she was awarded the Canadian Federation of University Women Guelph Scholarship, and in 2014, the College of Physical and Engineering Science Graduation Prize. Besides her studies, Laura has been heavily involved in student life to the benefit of her fellow students. She served as a member of the executive and as a president for the Mathematics and Statistics Club. She was also president of the College of Physical and Engineering Science Student Council. As part of her cooperative education program, Laura has had work placements at Manulife Financial, Statistics Canada, and Communications Security Establishment Canada, which is part of the Department of National Defence. The CSEC has now hired her full-time. Mr. Chancellor, I am sure you will agree that Laura Thompson is an outstanding student and fully deserving of the Governor General's Silver Medal.
Congratulations, Laura, and good evening to everyone. Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present Professor Joanne O'Meara, this year's recipient of the John Bell Award. This award was established to honor Professor John Bell, who served as the University of Guelph with distinction from 1972 to 1987. It recognizes outstanding contributions to university education. Joanne O'Meara is a physics education innovator. She has made the subject more accessible, more relevant, and more fun for students here at Guelph and across Canada. She has been instrumental in the creation of national university-level physics curriculum and in developing new teaching materials for university, high school, and elementary school students. Her influence is seen in strong links between application and theory, the importance of unifying principles, and a context for physics, and an emphasis for interdisciplinary learning. Professor O'Meara joined the Department of Physics at the University of Guelph in 2002. She has served as an Associate Chair of the Department of Physics and the Chair of the Undergraduate Curriculum Committee, as well as a member of the BSc Program Committee. At the national level, she has held executive positions with the Canadian Association of Physicists and chaired the National Task Force on Undergraduate Physics Revitalization. She has served as the University of Guelph's Physics Ambassador to high school teachers and students, as well as to the general public. She has developed instructional videos, hands-on student activities, and teacher workshops for several school districts. She has presented fantastic physics fun shows. Yes, folks, physics can be fun. To visiting elementary and high school students, and has many times been a guest presenter on the Discovery Channel's Daily Planet show. Joanne O'Meara is also an exceptional classroom teacher with consistently stellar student reviews. Her contributions are recognized with a number of awards, including the Presidential Distinguished Professor Award from 2004 to 2006, a 2009 Special Merit Award from the University of Guelph Faculty Association Teaching Awards, and the 2011 Medal of Excellence in Teaching Undergraduate Physics from the Canadian Association of Physicists. For her transformative impact on physics teaching and learning at the University of Guelph and beyond, Professor Joanne O'Meara is the most deserving recipient of the 2014 John Bell Award. Mr. Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate of the University of Guelph, it is my great honor to present to you Gauri S. Mittal for the distinction of University Professor Emeritus. Dr. Gauri Mittal is a food engineer whose international reputation has enhanced the University of Guelph's standing as a leader in the development of innovative and novel food technologies and processes. In a career spanning 30 years in the School of Engineering, He has made outstanding contributions as a researcher, teacher, and mentor. His leadership helped establish the food engineering profession in Canada and assisted in the development of programs in many South American and Asian countries. As a result of superior organizational and leadership skills, the University of Guelph benefited more than $32 million in research funds through his time here. These funds provided an opportunity for individual and group projects to focus on developing new food technologies, sensors, and equipment used to enhance food safety and quality. Non-thermal pasteurization, food processing modeling, simulation and optimization, and much more. His work has led to several patents and the development of innovative devices and processes which have significantly impacted the food industry worldwide. For example, he had breakthroughs in the design, development, and testing of equipment to pasteurize foods without heating. The advancement in his work with insulated containers have led to a multi-million-dollar business of transporting foods in unrefrigerated vehicles. He developed new ultrasound technology to detect glass fragments in containers, solving an important problem for the beverage industry and improving safety for consumers. Highly respected as a teacher, mentor, colleague, he has advised a large number of graduate students, many of whom were now well placed professionally in the food industry and academia. During his career, Dr. Mittal developed many undergraduate and graduate courses and played a leadership role in developing Canada's first accredited BSc program in food engineering. His impressive publication record includes 3 books, 18 book chapters, and 229 refereed papers. And he has been an invited keynote speaker at numerous international conferences. Dr. Mittal's contributions are truly world-class, and he has improved the careers of countless engineers and food scientists who in turn are continuing improving the lives of people around the world. For his distinguished career and exceptional contributions, Dr. Gauri Mittal is most deserving of being named University Professor Emeritus by the University of Guelph. I now ask you, Mr. Chancellor, to confer upon Gauri Mittal the distinction of University Professor Emeritus.
With empty rows, I think that the faculty will probably.
I am pleased to now invite Joanne
Those
O'Meara
2 rows of
to give
faculty,
the convocation
and in fact, what we'll
address.
do is that we'll.
Good evening. It is a tremendous honor and privilege to speak to you tonight. As I was thinking about what I wanted to say, it struck me that I have a lot more experience talking with students at the beginning of the undergraduate journey, as I'm often involved in outreach events with high school students who are thinking about their futures. Inevitably, at such events, as students explore different programs, I hear, "Will I get a job? What kinds of jobs can I do?" Now, of course, this is a perfectly reasonable consideration. Many of you may be thinking these things right now. However, as you sit before us tonight, at the end of your undergraduate journey, these questions have been reframed, and you now ask yourself, what am I good at? What do I enjoy? How can I use my talents to make the world a better place? This deceptively simple rephrasing is the very essence of the university experience. 4 years of exploring who you are, what makes you unique, and discovering where your strengths lie. This is the foundation on which to build as you embark on the next phase of your journey, full of ideas of how to use your talents in your very own Better Planet project. Most likely, you followed a very different and individualized path through your studies than you would have ever guessed when you finished high school. being afforded the opportunity to meander a little along the way is a sign of a quality undergraduate education. The quality of education, such as you have just experienced, seems to be the focus of ever greater scrutiny from politicians and bureaucrats, putting significant pressures on universities to continually justify their existence. With frequent calls for greater accountability and demands for quality assurance, I believe that the very nature of our institutions is in flux. Universities were never designed to produce employees for a particular workplace or industry. In their noblest state, they are the incubator for our next generation of great thinkers and dreamers, the success of which is impossible to quantify. In the incubator that is the U of G, you have had the luxury of exploring freely your intellectual interests, unfettered by external forces applied by society at large. You made decisions and plotted your course based on what you enjoy. Along the way, you realized that you would never have made it through the rigors of your program if you were only in it because you wanted a piece of paper at the end that said Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Engineering. Since each of you followed your own particular path to reach this point, the true value of your educational experience can only be assessed by the degree to which you have evolved as a thinker and dreamer. For example, for the physicists in the room, I'm not really all that concerned with whether or not you can solve the three-dimensional Schrödinger wave equation for an electron in the central force, although you should probably have some idea of how to tackle that by now. Instead, I believe that you've had a quality experience because you have honed your skills in logic and quantitative problem solving. You have also enhanced your ability to break a scenario down to its fundamental core components, eliminating all of the extraneous details. You are walking off this stage tonight, degree in hand, confident in your critical thinking and analysis skills, which will be invaluable regardless of the particular path you take from here. This is the very heart of a quality university education. So now, my highly evolved thinkers and dreamers, the next step is for you to figure out how to turn these talents into a career that will enable you to make a positive contribution to the world. Don't worry if you don't have a grand plan at this moment. Not quite 20 years ago, I was sitting in a similar spot, a large, somewhat stuffy hall with lots of other students waiting somewhat impatiently for my turn to walk across the stage and collect my bachelor's degree. Just like you, I was hoping the convocation speaker wasn't going to go on for too long. Don't worry, I won't. And I was trying to convince myself that I wasn't going to wipe out in front of everybody. Don't worry, you won't. And I'll let you in on a little secret. In that moment, I didn't have a plan at all. I'd been accepted for grad school, so I was probably thinking, I don't really need a plan just yet. However, fast forward 4 years with my PhD in hand and still not much of a plan. And although this may seem like a lack of foresight on my part, or perhaps even a major character flaw, I would argue that success can be achieved whether you plan for it or not. Don't get me wrong, having a grand plan is fine. But what is of fundamental importance is having a passion. So coming back to the discussions I often have with high school students, the reason I take issue with the overemphasis on jobs in their deliberations is twofold. It vastly undervalues the societal benefits of a quality university education, and it presupposes that you have, or even desire to have, a detailed plan at this point in your life. Instead, I strongly advocate, as I hope you have done here and will continue to do into the future, Follow your passions. Throw all caution to the wind. And don't be afraid to fail. Or, in the words of Albert Einstein, anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. Congratulations and good luck to you all. Make sure you keep us posted on all of your successes. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne, for those words of advice. Well, folks, the moment has arrived. Will the graduating class please rise? Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University of Guelph, that they may be admitted to their various and several degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I hereby accept you for admission to your various and several degrees with all the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto.
Will members of the graduating class please be seated?
Dean Vanelli, I'd like to congratulate the class for all your achievements and the different degrees that you're going to be conferred today. I wonder if we can do something special. And if I can ask the graduating class to stand for a moment. Thank you. Behind you, and in some cases in front of you, are the people that matter most. The parents, brothers and sisters, grandparents, friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, and others that are a great part of your life. And when that call was made at 1 in the morning that you didn't know if you could carry on because Professor X was giving you a horrible time, they were always there. Can we congratulate the parents? And please turn around and congratulate your parents and loved ones. At the same time, as you're standing, can we also congratulate the great faculty that are behind me, administrators, for their part of your education. Thank you to everyone for what you have done. Okay. Please sit down. Just for everyone today, we're going to be going through a number of degrees. It's going to be the BA Honors, the Bachelor Computing Honors, the Bachelor Computing General degree. Bill Van Heist will do the Bachelor of Engineering degree, and then I will finish off with the Bachelor of Science Honors degree and the Bachelor of Science General degree. You have every right to celebrate in any way you want. When your students come up, your children come up, please let out hoots and hollers. You're not going to be stopped from doing that. The only thing I would ask you is to hold your applause when I tell you for a finishing class. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Physical and Engineering Science that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts Honors program. Lauren Christine Davidson. Zorina Kumar. Matthew Roberts. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Physical and Engineering Science that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Computing Honors program. Corey Patrick James Alexander. Jeffrey William Bridges, with distinction. Patrick Cecile Edith. James Douglas Kelly. Andre Lemay. Frank Liu. Jameson Reed, with distinction. Clayton Donald Robert Rose. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you this scholar from the College of Physical and Engineering Science, that he may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Computing General program. Lee J. Klusky Belanger. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of these degrees.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Physical and Engineering Sciences, that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering Honors Program. Alex Mark Bunsen Alguire, with distinction. Mark Willem Armstrong. Gavin Aikens. Spencer Alexander Bain, with distinction. Kevin Alexander Brian Beatty. Taylor Martin Bliss. Robert Anthony Boss. Benoit Claude Boulet. Liam Thomas Bradley, with distinction. Alistair Edwin Bernard Brown. William Michael Bridges. Stephen Casabon. Julia Celli. Danielle Marie Catherine Chambers. Michael Timothy Chapman. Gregory William Charlton. Cynthia Chu. Alexander Raymond James Dales. Caitlin Amy Davey. Kimberly Elizabeth DeCoon, with distinction. Jenna Devereaux. Andrew Michael Deutz. Julian D. Leonardo. Peter Tuan Do. Curtis Anthony Duquette with distinction. Alex Arthur Dutton with distinction. Christopher William Elder with distinction. Abdul Rahman El Sayed. Erica L. Fielder. Thomas Andrew M. Ford. Jacob Bernard Gilson with distinction. Shannon Glassford with distinction. Joshua David Greenberg. Saki Hanjo. Khalid Hussain. David Frank Yanovek. Barrett Mackenzie Johnson with distinction. Sarpreet Kaur. Griffin James Lacey with distinction. Deirdre Rose Laxton. Nicholas Liang. Daniel John Linton. Chintu Loganathan. Ryan Jeffrey McGowan. Adam David William Marshall.
Yeah.
Alberto Andres Martinez. Benjamin Patrick McClure. Catherine Margaret McLean. Cody Meads. Jordan Ryan Meek. Benjamin James Molyneux with distinction. Brianna Lynn Claire Moore. Oshara Narangoda. Jake Michael Nuska. Stuart Mark Olson Varnell. Daniel Nicholas Ostapiak, with distinction. Jonathan Trevor Pawson. Andrew James Pronk. Zachariah Reed. Matthew Anthony Reffel. Grant William Reinhardt. Mitchell Reynolds. Saeed Walid Rizvi. Mark James Sritzma. Brock Vernon Charles Spencer. Jessica Stevenson. Helen Lorraine Stacer. Jacob Stoley, with distinction. Matthew Mark Swift. Kevin Chin Tai. Mohammed Ali Tariq. Winston Derek Tai. Matthew J. Veers, with distinction. Grace J. Wang. Please join me in congratulating all the graduates.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Physical and Engineering Science that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science Honors Program. Dustin Mitchell Aram. David Russell Bolton. Angela Borovac. Dylan Robert Charles Bowes. Paul Caruso, with distinction. Stéphane Pierre Martin Charpentier. Joseph Peter Kozerin. Alexander R. Dion. Gregory David Dollard. Travis Allen Paul Fillon, with distinction. Duncan Graham Hartwick. Spencer Hormand. Andre Mark Hoop, with distinction. Alexandra Caitlin Jackson.
Congratulations.
Denise Lane Kelly with distinction. Elaine Frances Pendrell with distinction. Jennifer Natalie Reed.
Congratulations.
Terry Lee Robbins with distinction. Mitchell Clayton Timpson. Kyler Neal Trapp. Kevin Bradley White with distinction. Colton Shelby Wolf Sabo. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Physical and Engineering Science that they may be admitted to the degree Bachelor of Science General. Takar Bharti. Zara Butt. Eugene Philip William Chu. Sarah Margaret Stubbs. Can you join me in congratulating all our graduates? Just before I sit down, it would be remiss for me not to acknowledge two very special people here that work extremely hard during Convocation Week. I'd like to really thank our Chancellor, David Mervish, for the wonderful job that he does at 20 convocations. So David, thank you very much. And this is his second last convocation of many after 11 years. And he's been a wonderful supporter of this university and the biggest cheerleader we've had. I'd like to honor our Vice Chancellor and President, Alistair Summerlee, for what a wonderful job that he has done.
Right back at you, Tony. How about a hand for the Dean and for the Director for reading all of those names? Mr. Chancellor, I would ask you to confer the various and several degrees on the graduates listed in the program but unable to attend this ceremony.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I confer the various and several degrees in absentia on the graduates not present.
So, you actually did it. You really finished. You've got your piece of parchment, the paper that proves it, and you're good to go. Well, that's what you think. Because you've got to sit there and listen to me just one more time. In fact, you could say, I am the only thing between you and the rest of your lives. And I could talk for hours and hours. But I'm not going to, don't worry. I have 3 things that I'd like to do. First of all, I'd like to ask you to look back. Think about all of the things that you have done here at the university. All of the things you've learned, all of the people you've met, the friends you've made. What would you say was the most fantastic that happened to you? What was the worst thing that happened to you? What was the stupidest thing that you did? What's really cool from up here is when I ask those questions, I can see the shadows pass across your face. And it tells me that, you know, you are actually alive. There is brain material there somewhere. It plays out on your face, so that I ask you something fantastic that happened, and there's a smile that ripples across. Something that wasn't so good, and a frown appears. But then when I say something stupid, you divide into two groups. There are those of you that have this wicked, wicked glint in your eye when you remember something that you did. Probably a trick you played on people, knowing engineers. And then there are those of you that are actually looking horrified, as if I've been creeping you on Facebook. Well, let me assure you I haven't. But why do I ask these questions? It is because I want you to remember what it's been like at the university. Hold on to those memories. Don't ever forget them. Because it's the experience of being here that's so important. And much to the chagrin of those of us that profess, the people here on the stage, your teachers, it's probably likely that most of what you learned in class has already evaporated from your minds. If that's so, what do you walk away with? Well, I hope it's actually much more than that parchment that you're holding in your hand, much more than a string of notes or a set of files. I hope that you walk away knowing what it means to be part of a society, part of a group. And because we are the University of Guelph, I suppose I could say part of a herd. A herd that cares deeply about the world around you and the people. So the first was to look back. And because you're all now clearly very bright because you have that piece of parchment, it proves it, I bet you're thinking, oh, and the second thing he's going to say is look forward. Well, I'm not. Actually, what I want to do is I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to be involved, to be engaged in the critical social, political, and humanitarian issues that face this world. I want you to use your skills to make this a better place. I want to ask you to work tirelessly for tolerance and understanding. When you see intolerance and people failing to understand, don't be angry. Just turn around and use the skills that you have learned here to stamp out injustice, to fight for those people who cannot, to speak for individuals who have lost their voice. And above all, care. Care for the people and this planet around you. Because it's only by caring that you will truly make a difference in this world. And sad to say, we really need you. In a world that is riven by injustice, that is challenged by dogma and prejudice and disadvantage, our absolute hope is you. Do something. Do something. I am sure that one or two of you will take on leadership dealing with some of the world's most daunting problems. But I'm asking you to do something much greater than that. I'm asking every single one of you to make a decision now that for the rest of your lives, you will ensure that every day you do something to make somebody else's life better. Just think about that played forward with the number of people who are graduating here. And how do you do that? Well, there's a really neat human behavior. Actually, we're the only animals that do this. Do you know that if you smile at somebody, no matter how miserable or angry, upset, grumpy, fed up, depressed they are, if you smile and keep smiling at them, they can't help but smile back just as you are. And in doing so, you change their lives and your own. Find ways to include people of all ages and stages, all genders and races, in everything that we do to make this a better planet. So, take your parchment. Take the values and ideals that you have learned here. Take your friendships that will last a lifetime. And get out of here. Those of us that are left behind will be watching you with enormous pride. So look back, take up my challenge, and the third thing I want to do is to ask a favor of you. You represent the future, and I would like to crave your indulgence whilst I take a selfie, or should I say a UC, to include me in you so that I have part of your future stamped on me. Forgive me a moment. Following convocation, the Dean and the Director have made arrangements for a reception. Please, would you make sure that you, in the last few minutes of light outside, take pictures. They will be more of the memories that you will have. Make sure that you take all of those pictures and store them away, because when you come back as alumni, you'll pull them out and say, I can't believe I looked like that. Or, as we'll have people coming back for Alumni Weekend in a couple of weeks' time, we've actually got people who will be celebrating their 60th anniversary since graduating. And I'm sure they're going to pick out those pictures and say, you haven't changed a bit. Make sure you take lots of pictures, but before you go home, please return your gowns. Either back to the tent or at the reception. Have a wonderful life. I celebrate and salute your successes, and I wish you every success in the future. Thank you.
Convocation is dismissed.
So if I can ask one last favor, graduates, one last